main opposition party, PDP, on the 3rd of September 2020, joined some Nigerians on social media to reject the 151 naira 56 kobo new fuel price per litre, and also the increase in electricity tariff. It also not news that the leadership of the APC on the 4th of September 2020 released a memo that the increase of fuel is in the interest of Nigerians. It has also been noted that various groups have come out to protest against the increase in the price of the fuel and electricity tariff. Good day and welcome to your favorite political program, The Christians in Politics, that brings you latest happenings in the political atmosphere. I am Smart Simon, and I am delighted to grace your TV screen. Today we shall be looking at the price hike on the fuel and electricity tariff that happened last week, and some fuel stations have started implementation. Our guest who will be discussing with us on the program today is Mr. Oluwafenwa Oredoba, an entrepreneur. Thank you very much, sir, for gracing our invitation.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Let's start with the state of the economy in Nigeria. What can you say?
Well, the state of the economy presently is bad. And it's not helped by the pandemic that has besieged us so far. It's been a disaster, to say the least. Lots of jobs have been lost. Lots of businesses have collapsed. So, you know, the income of many families has also reduced, you know, all of that. So the state of the economy presently is not something to be proud about or something to look back and, you know, smile. Although the good thing is that despite the pandemic, there are some people that are still cashing out. People that are being innovative, people that are taking opportunities that are coming. So, you know, despite the fact that it's a lull for some, it's also a boom for some, because, you know, economists say that the time when you have the best millionaires or the greatest millionaires come up, highest number of millionaires, is during this kind of recession period. Lots of people now become creative, but the economy presently is not something, you know, conducive for the average Nigerian. Everybody's complaining, you know, even more than before. Even those that supported this government are now complaining. It's no more a bed of roses, so to speak. So it's not something that anybody is happy about at this moment.
Okay. So looking at the state of the economy and the disaster caused by this pandemic, will you say that this is the right time for the increase of fuel? And not just fuel now, fuel increase, electricity tariff, DSTV, and food increase. All of this is on the increase. Do you think this is the right time for these things to happen? Did the government, are they right in taking that decision at this point in time?
Okay, let's start from the back. He said it started from fuel, electricity, then DSTV, then food. Food hike is as a result of the hike in price of others. That is what is making it high. Okay. So if what is now going to, for DSTV is entertainment. If you cannot afford it, don't use it. It's that simple. It's a business, and you cannot tell a businessman how to price his product. You know, it's their business. But if you cannot afford it, then my own advice.
I don't think I will agree with you on this.
No,
because we can do pay as you go.
No, pay as you go is even more expensive. Go to foreign countries and find how much they pay for pay as you go. People pay as much as $100 to view a particular program. How many Nigerians can afford that? So pay as you go is not even the best option for us to be thinking about. What we can be thinking or saying DSTV should do is, if my DSTV is not on, don't charge me for that day. That's the only thing we can say. But I don't think it's even a model they will want to. People will still complain, because people say, I just put it on for 2 hours today. Why am I paying for today? So it's not even a wise business model. But at the same time, if they're hiking their price, they're hiking it basically because of the dollar. I think maybe most likely because of the dollar increase, and of course things are also expensive. Running their machines, operating costs have increased. So obviously they also have to do that. So it's understandable. But we cannot tell them that this is how we want you to price your product. What we can be advocating is for a competitor. When someone is a monopoly, you cannot expect a monopoly to come down to your level. Yeah. But when there is a viable competitor, definitely there will now be competition in prices. So that's anything we can advocate for. So DSTV price, it's a luxury. If you can't afford it, go, watch normal TV. Okay. That's that's that. But for the fuel, economically good, is a positive thing, in the sense that removal of subsidy is what made the price go up, and it's gone up because definitely if they continue to subsidize the fuel price, then obviously other parts of the economy are going to suffer. Between 2006 and 2018, Nigeria spent 10 trillion naira on fuel subsidy alone. Wow. That is outrageous. Between 2006 and 2018, that is money that could have been well spent on other parts of the economy. Yeah, exactly. So if we want to move forward, then subsidy has to go. Okay. It's one thing we have been crying out loud, but the only issue is that at this particular time, it's not the best for Nigerians. It's a hard pill to swallow. And, maybe we'll get to that later, but there are things that even if the government wants to pass these policies, do all these things, they have to carry Nigerians along. Some things have to be done at the top echelon of government, so that Nigerians realize that, okay, this is not just a fad. These are things that that Nigerians are complaining about. If you're increasing the fuel price and you're saying, okay, I'm cutting cost of governance, yes, Nigerians will appreciate it more. Will appreciate it more. But you cannot be, making life tougher, and then the top echelon are still enjoying the same things. Exactly. So those are the problems that Nigerian people are having. That you cannot just tell us you are increasing the price, and then things are not changing. We're not seeing change. If you are saying you want to direct this fund somewhere else, then let's also see that those in government are also beating the same way, because you increase it, you don't increase it, those in government will pay. Government will pay for all these things. So those are the issues that we are having. That the fact that it was removed and it's gone up economically, it's a positive thing. But on the masses, on the average man, it's a hard pill to swallow, and the government has a lot to do. For electricity tariff increase, honestly, I'm one of those that is beaten, that is well beaten because of this electricity increase. Okay. Initially, if you spend 10,000 to buy units, okay, I have about 180 something units. Now you spend 10,000, you have maybe about 110 units or thereabout, which will finish in less than a month, or in 4 weeks. Before you could use it for the next 2 months. Now it's going to finish in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, that kind of thing. So it's really painful, because why the sudden increase in electricity without carrying Nigerians along?
Was it also subsidized?
Well, from what I've read, it came about because the cost of providing electricity is not profitable. It hasn't been profitable to the distributors and the gencos. It hasn't been profitable. So they had to, at a particular time, say, come, we have to increase if we want to make profit. If you want us to keep giving these people electricity, then we have to increase the tariffs that these people are paying. So the issue, once again, is the timing. Because they were supposed to increase it in July. I think that was July 1st. We're supposed to increase it, but because of the pandemic, the government said, okay, let's postpone it indefinitely. but then it had to happen this September. It was something that we have been hearing it was going to happen since last year. So it's not like, okay, it just came out, and it's something that we knew was going to happen. The issue was, when was it going to happen? Were we ready, or are we ready for it to happen? But it has to happen because the GenCos, the DISCos, they are businesses. And when your operating cost is getting high and high, if you don't want people to lose their jobs, you know, something has to give. So once again, the timing is still the issue. All these things economically are positive, but the timing is the issue. The average man is looking, when you are increasing electricity tariffs, that means that, and I cannot afford these things, you know, so you are just punishing me, so to speak. So that is the issue that people are having. If things are going on well, the economy is viable, people have their jobs, you know, all these things. If you increase it, people won't complain, you know, because, well, it's one of those things. I'm paying my taxes, I'm seeing it work for me, you know. Yes. People won't complain. But when you have all these things coming up and then nothing is getting better in terms of my pocket, in terms of the economy,
things are still the same.
Are still the same. You know, it's a tough thing for people to go through. You know.
Okay, I must say we are grateful, but please can you tell us what would be the positive and negative implication of the hike of the price of fuel and this electricity tariff?
Okay, I think I've spoken extensively on the electricity tariff, positive and negative, but for the fuel price increase, one, when we look at how much fuel is sold in other neighboring countries, for instance, in Niger Republic, petrol is sold for 346 petrol is sold for 346 naira per liter. In Cameroon, it's sold for 449 naira per liter. In Ghana, it is 332 naira per liter, and in Benin Republic, it's 359 naira per liter. So in this region, Nigeria is the only country that is selling for less than 200 naira per liter. So during the subsidy, when fuel is being subsidized, people will take that fuel, go and sell it in any of these countries, bring the receipts that they sold it in Nigeria, and then the government will pay.
Okay.
So those are the things that, you know, the aspects of corruption that has befuddled the petroleum sector. So, you know, when people are smuggling fuel out, you know, and the government is still paying for those things, then you still have queues. You see filling stations that will just be open, will be there, they'll tell you they don't have fuel. Meanwhile, the government is still going to pay for subsidy because you collected fuel you are not selling visibly, that people are saying. So all these things are things that has to go. When you know that the money you are using to buy the fuel, you have to be competitive because your neighboring filling station is selling at a reduced price. You cannot just leave your filling station and not sell. You have to sell, because if you don't buy, or if you buy and you don't sell, you are hurting yourself. So those are the things that's one of the things, the benefits of this increase. Then the Nigerian refineries, none of them has worked for past 2 to 3 decades.
Wow.
The refineries are just redundant.
And I love that billions of naira
are being pumped into it. So
to pay the workers there for doing nothing.
Exactly. So, you know, these are the aspects of things that we need to look at.
This is not good.
It's not good. When the refineries are just there, billions of naira are being spent, the workers are feeding fat, and at the end of the day, there is no ripple effect on the common man. So this particular time, when we now decide that there is going to be no more subsidy for these people, the refineries, the government has to make sure the refineries work.
Yeah.
If the refineries work, but the truth is, these refineries are going to take a long time to even come to life. The only refinery we can be looking at now is Dangote Refinery. When it comes up, hopefully it comes up before 2023. Once it comes up, we know that, okay, there will be some a positive side to it for the common man, because, you know, okay, now we don't have to go abroad, import fuel, and then sell in the Nigerian economy. And one bad thing is that Nigeria, you know, we get the crude from the water, from the soil. We get the crude, then we export the crude, and then we now pay to have it sent back to us refined. So you are paying money to foreign countries. You are paying money to foreign countries and foreign investors or foreign petroleum companies who are not going to pay tax to you. So basically, it's money that could have been spent in your economy that you have just taken and taken abroad. So these are things that the positive side to this fuel hike is that the Nigerian government can now sit down and decide on what exactly they want to do going forward with the money that is going to be saved.
Okay.
You know, that is one of the most important things. We can now decide that, okay, now I've been able to save, if we say from 2006 to 2018 is about, I think about 12 years, that's roughly about 900 million naira every year that is being spent, between 2006 and 2018. So if I can take 900 billion, I mean, because it's trillions I'll spend, 900 billion, I can take it and say, okay, now I want to put it in the health sector. I want to build hospitals.
That would be a radical...
You know, there'll be radical change. People will see, you know, that something is different now. If you have 900 billion that you can spend on economy, you can spend in doing things. The most important thing is that Nigerians want transparency.
Yeah.
Let me see that this money you are saving, I can see the work.
Because they will tell you they're spending money, you won't see it.
You won't see it. You know, so let me see that something is being done. Let me see that the road to my house is good, is starred. Let me see that I can walk into a hospital, get treatment by doctors. Doctors don't have to keep going on strike, and all those things, because their salaries are being paid in good time. So those are things that Nigerians want. So even if it is you are increasing it, let there be transparency. Let top government parastatals and let us see that, okay, cost of governance has been cut short, you know, so that we can enjoy, you know, everybody can enjoy the benefits of all these things on the long run. You know.
All right, thank you so much. Now you have been able to tell us that in West Africa, Nigeria seems to be the country that is paying less per liter on a fuel. All right, you've mentioned Niger, Benin, Ghana, and all others. But look at this analogy. The man in Benue, where they are producing yam, should be able to have yam cheaper than the person who is in Abuja, where they don't produce yam. So what I'm simply saying is, these other countries are not oil-producing countries, but we are. So it is expected that in a country such as Nigeria, it should be lower, far, far, far lower than what we have now. What do you think?
Like I said, the refineries not functioning is one of the major.
And where did we get it wrong? Why did we abandon our refinery for 3 decades without doing anything on it?
Well, you can blame successive governments, but I don't like going to the past. Because whether you blame a previous government or not, the fact is that now you have another government. So let's see, what can this particular government do for us? Blame game will carry us nowhere. What can this particular government do for us? So I think the issue is this. Like I said, when you have a fuel, a refinery, a country that manufactures fuel, or that produces fuel, or crude oil, and instead of now refining it in Nigeria, when we now send it out of the country, and then when you send out of the country, you now import the refined product back. Now, when you import the refined product back, you now tell your marketers that, okay, this is the cost. The cost of this thing per liter is 200 naira per liter. But come and buy it at 150 naira and sell it at 155 naira. I will bear the cost of 45 naira. Now, that 45 naira, you that you're buying the fuel will not feel it. But the government is feeling it, because on every liter I'm paying 45 naira. So now, what can help us even to drive this price lower is if our refineries are functional. if our refineries are functional and we are now exporting both crude and refined oil out, if we are doing that, definitely you can be certain that the price will come down. Because now the price of importation is, you're no more importing. You know, basically all you're doing is I produce, I refine, I sell. So the price will come down, bless you, sir. So the price will come down, definitely. So that is what we should be looking at. That's the only thing that can drive the price down on the long run. So at the moment, we can say, okay, they don't produce fuel, but we produce, we also import. They also import as well. So what
difference doesn't make
any difference? So if we produce and refine, then we can now be saying the price must go down. But successive governments, it's been a way of, you know, of stealing money, of corruption, both in NPC, in different levels of government. You know, where you know, okay, you can inflate your cost of selling. I can take this amount and then I don't sell it and then I collect money for what, you know, all those things. And you know how government works. If somebody says, you sold, what I bought is actually 33,000. Okay, just say I bought 60,000. And you are paying me for what I did not buy.
Yeah.
You know, all those things. So those are the things that we have to look at on the long run.
All right, thank you so much. Viewers, we shall take a short break, and when we come back, we shall continue with the discussion.
Number one, I understand that the government based their fuel price increase on the reasoning of total deregulation of the downstream sector of our oil industry. That is, government does not want to have any hand again in regulating the prices. They want it to be on a free fall. In other words, government does not want to get involved again in importation of petroleum products. They don't want to subsidize the product. And at a time when, you know, prices are rising in the international market, naturally, the price of fuel will rise. So it has been so. And you know, there has been some recovery in the price of petrol, of the crude oil price in the international market. So the price of PMS, even in the international market, is rising. Not only that, the exchange rate of the naira is falling in value. So what 1 naira could purchase before in the international market, it can no longer purchase. The exchange rate now is about 420 something, 400 something, almost 500 naira, depending on where you are buying from. So the exchange rate is falling and the price is rising. So it is like burning a candle from two sides. So naturally, if the government does not want to regulate prices, then the price will rise. Now, but come to think of the plight of the Nigerian, whether the timing is right, and so on and so forth. Definitely you know that the timing is not right. The Nigerian person has not had it so bad in our history as a country as we are today. The minimum wage of Nigeria is 30,000 now. It was only moved from 18,000 to 30,000 naira. Now, what could 18,000 naira buy in 2015 when the minimum wage was 18,000 naira? What can 30,000 naira now buy? A bag of rice now, local rice, is about 26,000. Imported rice is about 30,000. In other words, somebody's minimum wage now can only buy him a bag of rice. In 2015, 18,000 naira that the person was earning, a bag of rice then was 7,500 or 8,000 naira. In other words, you can buy him 2 bags of rice. So even though the minimum wage is increasing, or the wage is increasing, the value is reducing. That's one. Number two, Nigerians are being taxed from all directions. VAT is increasing. Tax is increasing. The brackets, the coverage of tax is increasing, is widening. The bracket is widening. Everybody is under the tax net. And I hear one argument that cannot hold water. That argument is that, we pay the least tax. Check the price of oil in UK. Check the price of oil in South Africa. Check the price of oil here and there. The question is, if you go to UK, you have road to drive on. You have security, you have light, you have water, you have social security, you have food at affordable prices. None of these things is available in Nigeria today. The Nigerian person builds a house, he has to invest in water, his water works, his water corporation, he has to invest in security, his Minister of Defense in his own house. He has to invest in electricity, private supply of electricity, because there's no light. For 200 and something million people, our megawatts of power is just about 4,500. This government promised Nigerians that they will increase, they will give us 10,000 megawatts of power every year. They met the power at 4,800. Today it is even 4,500. And the population is growing. So the Nigerian person is suffocating. And this is the truth. This is the honest truth. So the reasoning about deregulation, government doesn't want to pay subsidy is corrupt, and so on and so forth. It cannot. Okay, now, even if they say okay, there is corruption in subsidy, but you realize that the plight of the Nigerian person is very difficult now. Why don't you give them palliatives? For instance, some time ago there used to be what you call federal government assisted mass transit. Why can't you repair our mass transit system? Now, if you are saying you don't want to pay subsidy again because you want to save money, what are you using this money for? Let us begin to see the rules get better. Let us begin to see security of lives and property. Let us begin to see you invest in mass transit. Let the rail system begin to get serious and better. Let the mass transit system begin to get better and serious, so that the person who does not have the money to buy PMS for himself into his own car can find a convenient bus transport to enter, can find a convenient rail system to enter, can find a good road to drive on, can find light when he gets back to his house. But now in this case, the double tragedy is that even the light, the tariff is being increased all at the same time. What is the relief for the Nigerian person? What is the relief for the ordinary Nigerian? What is the relief for the ordinary Nigerian? Nigerians are suffering. They don't have anybody to complain to. I used to be in the National Assembly. The National Assembly could have been a place that they could go and vent their feelings. Now the National Assembly has become largely compromised and sucked up into what is going on. They are now collaborators in what is going on. They don't have any voice again. You see a situation whereby ministers are invited for an investigation by the National Assembly. They refuse to come. And then when they come, they walk away on them and nothing happens. These things come to no consequence. Why? Because they have become sucked up. There's no longer a clear separation of power in Nigeria. So the Nigerian person is suffering, and for their plight, something is going to get to a head, and then the person, Nigerian citizen, will not have anywhere to go again. So now, in summary, let me say, the timing of the fuel price increase is wrong. If it must be done, because many of us in time past, we have argued that there should be total removal of subsidy. But then, it is not at the expense of the lives of Nigerian citizens. Find them palliatives. Let us see this money that is being saved. 1 trillion naira that is being saved from subsidy being used to repair the Nigerian roads. Let us see it being used to buy mass transit vehicles and then subsidize the transportation for the Nigerian person. Let the mass transit system in Nigeria, both rail and road, become subsidized. In that case, then the situation in Nigeria can become bearable, more tolerable for the Nigerian person. But for now, it is really totally unbearable.
welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Viewers, you can call in and give us your comments and contributions on this very important topic that we're looking at. We shall continue the discussion by looking at some of the problems the speaker on the video we just watched spoke on. Now, what is your thought on some of the things he has shared, and particularly the price of dollar is very high now. Minimum wage as compared to other countries that we're looking at, Nigeria seems to be down there. So what is the relief for ordinary Nigerians on all of this? Because in other countries, during this lockdown, the president, for example, the president of Ghana, had to declare some things free for the citizens. But in our own, it is during lockdown like this that we are increasing almost everything. Does it mean that Nigerian citizens don't matter?
Okay. First, the truth is, it's not the government that is increasing everything. It is the Nigerian people that are increasing everything. And one bad thing about Nigerians is many Nigerians are not, don't have empathy. Okay, I need money, and this thing now, there's a market for this thing, I will increase the price. Nigerians don't ever think of bringing down the price. Once the price goes up, it really comes down. So even if, someone bought this thing for 10 naira today, as long as somebody else can buy for 15, it stays at 15 naira. If another person, people are now buying it and somebody is selling for 20 and is making money, my price goes up to 20 naira, even when I can sell it for 15. So the government is not the one that is making
Should
everything.
the government not regulate?
Government cannot regulate everything. Government cannot regulate the price you are buying milk or the price you are buying sugar. Government can't do that. So now what it is, the onus is now on the state government. Federal government cannot do everything. That's why we vote governors. That's why you have your local government representatives. What are they doing? Because we keep saying federal government, federal government, federal government. The federal government, in the first 6 months of this year, we earned about 1.81 trillion naira and spent 4.45 trillion naira. That is, what came in was 1.81 trillion. What we spent was 4.45 trillion. This implies that we spent 2.64 trillion naira, which we did not earn. Then we spent 1.61 of the 1.8 of the 4.4 on personnel payments, salaries, pensions. 1.61 trillion was spent on that. Then we are left just 200 billion after all this expenditure. Then we spent 1.57 trillion to service our debt, which means we borrowed 1.37 trillion naira, added it to the 200 billion that remains, and used it to pay money that we are borrowing.
That is not how to do it at all.
It doesn't make any sense for us to keep saying federal government, federal government. What are the state governors doing? We elect these people into positions, and we are not checkmating them, because it's easy for everybody to say, what is the president doing? The federal government can do only as much. But what are the state governors doing? Are they also making lives better? Because you elected them there as well. So we should also demand, if you are talking of palliatives, what is the state government doing to reduce, to offer palliatives even to the people? That's one thing we have to look at. Is the state government saying, okay, because you pay federal tax, you pay state tax. Is the state government saying, I'm not going to collect tax too? The state government did not do that. So we cannot keep saying federal, federal, federal. What is the state doing? So if the state government can say, okay, this is what I've been doing. We have 36 states.
But we have seen a governor relieving
one governor out of 36. We have 36 states in Nigeria, minus the FCT. If one governor is doing something, that's 1 over 36. That's 1 over 36. That is less than 5% of states. So if one governor is doing it, what happened to the remaining 35? What are they doing? So it's high time we start asking ourselves questions. What is my state governor doing? If we're always looking at federal, we're in Abuja. So we in Abuja can say, let me look at the federal.
It is because the federal government themselves decided to, they don't, you know, they talk about dissolution of power to the states. They hold on to the power. Everything seems to concentrate on the federal government.
I disagree with that. Because if your state governor is working and is generating income for a state, governors collect billions in security votes every month. What are they using it to do? Build houses, build estates, issue fake contracts? What are they using all this money to do? Many of them just sit back. There are governors that they don't stay in their states. They stay in Abuja for months. And they only go to their state to do one or two things, delegate power and then come back to Abuja. And you will still vote that person again next in another election cycle. So if we are not checkmating our governors, what is the governor doing that, okay, I need to improve the lives of the people I'm governing. If you improve their lives, if you improve the life of the people you are governing, then definitely when people are blaming the federal government, you can say, my state governor is doing it, why can't you do it? If my state governor that I'm seeing can do it for me, why are you, that you are the all in all, why are you not doing it for me?
Okay, now Mr. Fenwa, are you in support of those rejecting or kicking against the increase in fuel and electricity tariff?
I think I would like to.
Am I putting you on the spot?
No, I would like to sit on the fence on this one. But you know, I think it's those that are rejecting are right. Those that are supporting are also right.
Okay. If
you reject what they are doing, yes, the timing is wrong. The timing is the issue. But then we cannot eat our cake and have it. That's the truth. So if things must get better, then some tough decisions has to be made. Like I said in the beginning, what Nigerians want is that if you are taking these tough decisions, let me see the ripple effects in my pocket. If you are saving trillions of naira on the long run, let me see that, the federal government do this thing. The federal government do this thing. The federal government do this thing. I have water. There's constant light.
Yeah.
I have roads. I have good health, this thing. There's transportation. All these things, when you see it. But the other side to it is that Nigerians don't appreciate some of these things. If you build road, you build hospitals, you build all these things, the poor masses will tell you, nah, hospital I want job, nah, road I want job. So in the end, you are building infrastructure from the money you are saving. But then the masses feel, as long as you are not dashing me money, or you are not feeding me, then what are you doing? That is the mindset of most Nigerians. If I'm not seeing money entering my pocket, even if you create all this convenience for me, I want money in my account.
The greatest percentage just wants the infrastructure in place. I know that the average Nigerian,
the elites are the ones that would want that.
Average Nigerian will always know how to hustle and earn a living if these things are put in place. My thoughts about Nigerians. Yeah. Nigerians are not lazy people, really. And I want to agree with you that these things should be put in place. Now that it seems that removal of self-subsidy has come to stay. Now, let's move on. Over the years, we've seen government destroying illegal refineries. Our own refineries are not functioning. And then these people who have been able to set modular or small refineries to refine product, the armies.
Introducing a new way to watch ACNN 24 hours on your mobile device. Download the VM Africa app for Android from Google Play Store and then install. Open. Click on ACNNTV to be up to date with our news and other programs. Also available on the Apple App Store. ACNN, reaching the world with the undiluted Word of God.